Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this green shimmery halo eye. I wanted to do something different besides the one light eyelid color, then the dark color around it, or just a typical smoky eye. I wanted to do a halo eye. I only have like one halo eye tutorial on my channel, so I wanted to just do something different than what I've usually been doing as far as tutorials and looks go on my channel. I just wanted to switch it up a bit, but beautiful green halo eyes. We got some pop-in lip gloss, the Jouer lip topper and skinny dip. It's so beautiful, but I feel like everything is just pulled together and it just looks so beautiful. I am really in love with this look. I hope that you guys are too, and if you would like to know how to achieve the look, definitely keep on watching and we'll get started. And I hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to start off with the eyes today. So I'm going to prime my eyelids with a Wet n Wild concealer, and I'm going to blend this all over my eyelids with a damp beauty blender. This concealer is going to act as a base for our eyeshadows and also prevent our eyeshadow from creasing. And to prevent the concealer from creasing, I'm going to set the concealer with a white matte eyeshadow, and I also feel that it helps to blend on a more powdery base instead of a very tacky base. So that's just what I feel. I feel it's easier that way. So we're going to start off with Makeup Geek's Tiki Hut, and with a Sigma E40 blending brush, I'm going to blend this in our crease. This is going to be our starter shade, something that we're going to use to warm up the crease. This eyeshadow is so pigmented, so you have to be very careful if you're using this exact color. I started off and added way too much, and it just ended up being a mess, so you have to be really careful. But I lightly started applying this in my crease, and as I was blending it out, I went in with more product and then just built the color up. Now I switched over to a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm still using Tiki Hut from Makeup Geek, but I'm applying this on my outer eyelid / crease area and then my inner eyelid. This is going to be our transition shade, I guess you could call it, for the dark shades that we're going to be applying in these exact areas where we are applying Tiki Hut. So we need something that's just going to warm up that area as well, because like I said, we are going to be applying very dark colors, so we need something to warm those areas up. I went back in with my Sigma E40 blending brush, and I took no extra product, but I'm just blending out the edges of these eyeshadows really quickly to make sure that everything's staying real nice. We're going to move over to Makeup Geek Shadow in Dirty Martini, and I'm using a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm applying this on my outer eyelid / crease, and then I'm applying it on my inner eyelid as well. We're gradually, getting darker with these colors, so I went in with a lighter green, but we are about to go in with a very dark green. So this was like the perfect median shade, I guess you could call it, just something that we needed to warm it up, but not go quite as dark as we are about to. So I'm applying that on my outer lid / crease and my inner eyelid. I'm going back into Tiki Hut for Makeup Geek, and on a Sigma E40 blending brush, I'm blending out the edges of that green eyeshadow. When we applied them, they were a little bit harsh, so I needed to blend out the edges of those shadows really quickly. I'm going to move over to Makeup Geek's Enchanted Forest, and I'm using a Sigma E25 blending brush to apply this. We're applying this in the same area that we have been applying the past few colors, on our outer lid / crease and our inner corner. On the inner corner, I feel that it's best not to tap the color in place, but to rub it. My inner lid is very small. I have very small eyes, so I feel like it was a bit hard to get in there with this brush, but I feel like rubbing the shade on instead of patting it, I got a little bit more color payoff. That's just my experience. If you have small eyes, maybe that'll work for you, but just giving you a little tip there. We're going to go back into Tiki Hut for Makeup Geek, and on a, oh, that's not a Sigma E40, girl. That is a Sigma E35 tapered blending brush. I'm so used to using that blending brush. I'm like, oh yeah, a Sigma E40. But no, we're using a Sigma E35 tapered blending, and I'm using Tiki Hut and lightly blending out the edges of that dark green eyeshadow because, ooh girl, it got pretty harsh. We're going to use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm using a Wet n Wild concealer brush, nothing fancy, and I'm just clearing out an area where we are going to apply our center eyelid shade. So I just applied that, and then with a BH Cosmetics number 115 pointed eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to blend out the concealer to make sure that it's set into the skin and that it's not just sitting there. I'm going to use Makeup Geek's Foiled Shadow in Jester, and I'm actually just going to be applying this shade on my eyelids with my finger. I feel like I get the best color payoff that way, but it's nothing complicated at all. Just apply it on the exact area where you applied your concealer. Now I'm going to go back into Makeup Geek's Shadow in Enchanted Forest. I'm using a flat side of an eyeshadow brush from the Urban Decay palette, and I'm just going to reapply that eyeshadow. And since we applied Jester, I feel like we lost out on the little bit of pigment from that shadow, so I'm just going to reapply that and bring it back to life. So I'm just applying that in the outer lid / crease and then the inner corner. Now I'm going to take a Sigma E35 taper blending brush. I grabbed no extra product, but I'm just blending out the edges of that dark green eyeshadow since we went back in and reapplied it. You have to make sure that you really blend these shadows out, especially since we're using such dark colors, because I feel like the darker the color, the more apparent it'll be if it's not blended. So make sure you do blend that out. I'm going back into Tiki Hut from Makeup Geek and using a Sigma E40 blending brush. I grabbed a very small amount of that product, and I'm just going to actually go in there with some product and not just some product that was left on the brush. And I'm just going to blend out the edges of the eyeshadow. Alright, so we're going to move on to the face, and I'm going to go ahead and prime my face for foundation, and I'll be using the Urban Decay De-Slick Foundation Primer. This is going to minimize the appearance of my pores and also keep me matte throughout the day, so I'm just applying that pretty much. I focused this in my T-zone, but I did apply a little bit all over the face. Now, for foundation, I've been using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick. I'm in the shade Y225, so I'm going to apply that all over my skin. This is going to make your skin look flawless. It's an absolutely gorgeous foundation on the skin. It's very natural, but just makes your skin look absolutely flawless. So I'm just blending this out on my skin with a damp beauty blender, as always. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my eyelashes. I'm using the new Kiss Lash Couture lashes in Gala, and I'm just going to apply these. I let the glue sit just for a little bit to allow it to get tacky. For concealer, I'll be using my Wet n Wild Come Correct Celebrity Concealer in Fair, and I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender. I've been using my Tarte Shape Tape so much, I just wanted to change it up, and this is one of my favorite drugstore concealers, so I decided to go with that today. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. I'm using my CoverFX Custom Enhancing Drops, and this is in the shade Celestial, and I used one drop and I just applied it to the round part of my beauty blender, and I applied that on my cheekbones, and then I went ahead and just used dabbing motions and blended out the highlighter. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight, set the cream highlighter, and I'll be using the Makeup Revolution Vivid Highlights in Golden Lights, and I'm just going to actually apply that with a Sigma highlighting brush. This is the F35 tapered highlighter. And I'm just going to go ahead and set that cream highlighter to make sure that it's just going to stay in place, and also this is kind of an excuse to just add a little bit of extra highlight on the skin. And I'm also going to apply a little bit on the Cupid's bow, and then also I'm going to apply it on the bridge of my nose. And I've been doing this quite a bit, and I really like it. And I like to apply that highlighter with a Sigma small tapered blending brush. So just applying that on the tip of my nose and the bridge as well. So I'm going to set my concealer with the Airspun Translucent Face Powder. I wanted to do this after I did my highlight because we used a cream highlight. So if I applied a cream highlight over a powder, it would just start looking patchy and terrible. So I wanted to go ahead and set that and let it bake. I'm going to take my Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation, and I'm just going to set my foundation on the cheek area, so when we contour, it will go on real smoothly and it will blend very effortlessly, and then it won't look patchy or streaky. So I'm going to set that specific area and also my forehead. Next, I'm going to contour, and I'll be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm going to contour using a Sigma F05 small contour brush. I've been using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer a lot recently, actually. It's just so beautiful, and it's perfect for fair skin because it's a nice cool tone shade, so I've really been liking it. So I'm just applying that to my cheekbones to add a little bit of definition, and I also like to apply a little bit around the forehead just to add a little bit of warmth. Now I'm going to take some of the Airspun powder on a beauty blender and apply it underneath the contour to give it a nice clean line. I just want to clean it up underneath, and I'm just going to let that bake. We're going to go in with Makeup Geek's Dirty Martini, and I'm going to smoke out the bottom lash line, and I'm going to use a Sigma E55 eye shading brush. Then I'm going to go in with mascara. I'm using the Benefit Roller Lash. I wanted to blend my lashes with the false lashes just to, make them look, I guess, as natural as possible, I guess. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer, or not concealer, I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara on my bottom lash line. I never usually do this, and I don't know why. There's like no specific reason or reason that I don't like doing it. I just never do. But I just applied that. I'm going to go ahead and dust away the translucent powder with my Sigma F25 tapered face brush. I made sure that I swept away the powder downwards instead of sideways because I didn't want it to mess up my highlighter, so keep that in mind if you did everything in the same order that I did. Now we're going to move on to blush. I will be using the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, and I'm going to apply this with a Sigma F40 Large Angled Contour Brush. This is a beautiful blush from Milani. I am in love with Milani's blushes. They are so beautiful and pigmented and such high quality, especially for the price, because I think they're $8, so they're definitely like high-end quality. For lips, I'll be using my Jouer Cosmetics Longwear Lip Topper in Skinny Dip. I wanted to go with something very natural and just very neutral for the lips, so I felt like this was perfect. It's so beautiful. I honestly feel like it just finished off the look. So that completes it for this look. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I love you guys so much. Please do not forget to subscribe. There's a button on the screen where you can easily do so. I hope you guys enjoy. I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.